Hello guys, I hope you're doing well, hope you're doing alright. So guys, we're going to talk about something really important for the next few days, which is the two stages in which the average unprofitable trader goes through. The first stage, which is the trader would make some money, wins, and then the second stage, which is the trader would wipe out this money. So I realized that the day of the average unprofitable trader is that the trader would make some money and then maybe the next day, maybe on the same day, he would engage in some trades that would wipe out his profits. And therefore, the majority of unprofitable traders know how to make money. However, they just have a huge problem in learning how to keep it. So in the next few videos, and in this video as well, we're going to learn how to eliminate this wipeout stage, this wipeout thing that ends up happening. Now, the majority of traders believe that in order for them to be profitable, what they need to do is they need to add in some wins. So they need to learn some new concepts, some new strategies, something that would make them add some wins so they have more wins than losses, and this is how they become profitable. However, reality is if you want to have more wins than losses, then you can keep everything as is, as you have it right now. All you need to learn is how to eliminate those losses as opposed to add in some wins. You don't need to learn something new in order to add wins. What you need to do is you need to be removing from what you already know, from what you're already doing in order to eliminate some of those losses. Of course, you're not going to be eliminating all of them. So to eliminate some of those losses so your wins can outshine your losses and so you can avoid this wipeout stage. And this is what we're going to start learning today. So I will highlight first three main reasons in which I believe this wipeout stage occurs. So the first reason, I will call it, and I will explain everything later, of course, boredom exhaustion. The next reason is intellectual exhaustion. And then the third reason is emotional exhaustion. So I'm going to create a set of 3 YouTube videos in a row, this one and 2 others. In this one, I'm going to be talking about boredom exhaustion. And in the next one, I'll be talking about intellectual exhaustion. And in the one after it, I'm going to be talking about emotional exhaustion. Those are the 3 phases that generally would lead a trader to the wipeout stage. When a trader first wakes up in the morning, his goal is, I want to trade today. I want to place trades today. And his goal as well is, that's the goal as well, which is, I want to make money today, obviously. So you want to make money today. And therefore you approach the charts with a mentality is, I want to place trades today and I want to make money. So I want to make money today. What does that mean? What is the best way of making money? You start looking for high quality trades. Let's say for the first 2 hours of your day. And let's say you don't find any trades for the whole of this time. After 2 hours, usually on average, boredom will start settling in. You will start feeling bored. You're sitting on that chair, watching candlesticks, watching rectangles on a screen go up and down. You're getting bored, you're getting frustrated, you're doing nothing, you're not moving your hands. It's only that your eyeballs that are moving, and therefore you're getting bored, you're getting frustrated. You see everyone progressing through their day, and you're just sitting there stuck, watching candlesticks go up and down. You're getting bored, you're getting frustrated, and therefore your goal shifts from I want to make money to I want this, I just want this to end. This is what happens in your brain subconsciously. Your brain goes, I'm bored, I just want this to end. Now, what is the best way to ending this? Remember, when the goal was I want to make money, the best way to make money is to look for high quality trades. And this is why you didn't find any trades in the morning, because you were just filtering and looking for the highest quality ones. However, wanting this to end, this can end by simply taking any trade. If I can simply take any trade right now on the chart, if I can force a trade, whatever it might be, let's say I've taken my 2 trades for the day, I'm done by taking just any 2 trades that I see. And therefore this is where your brain shifts from making high quality decisions to satisfy that goal to making low quality decisions to satisfy that goal. So at some point, when boredom is introduced, your brain will shift from a high quality type of thinking to a low quality type of thinking. And this is when traders will start taking unnecessary trades and racking up unnecessary losses. And let's say if you had some profits yesterday, let's say that you made some money yesterday, you will be wiping them out. You will reach that wipeout stage because your brain has just shifted from high quality decisions to low quality decisions because of that boredom. That's number one. Number two, sometimes you will find trades in the morning, and let's say you will take out some wins. But also after every win, after every loss, you get some new emotions as well. So let's say right here, confidence, extreme delusional confidence, starts getting introduced at the 2 hours mark, let's say after you've taken some wins on the charts. Confidence is saying, you know what? I am the best trader ever. I trade very well. I am very confident. All I do is win. And therefore, I am very good at trading. Now, when you say I am very good at trading or I'm the best trader ever and all that, what you're basically saying, you're stating, I can just listen to myself as opposed to listen to my system because I am just the best trader ever. Why wouldn't I listen to myself? Why wouldn't I just think on the charts and feel or have an intuition as to where the market might be going? So also confidence, not just boredom, is which is a positive feeling in that case, will also affect your trading performance negatively. Your brain will also shift from high quality to low quality because as opposed to listening to your system, you will be listening to yourself, which means your brain will shift from high quality to low quality trades as well. Because high quality trades are as a result of you having a system, optimizing it and following those rules and filtering. However, when you're just listening to whatever your brain throws out, that is not such a high quality decision. So therefore, you'll be taking low quality as opposed to high quality. Same thing. Now, on another hand, if you lose some trades right there, other emotions will be included. For example, frustration. Now, if frustration is included also into the mix, now you're frustrated. What does frustration mean? I lost. I hate my trading system. It's very bad. It's very shit. It is causing me to take these losses. The moment you start hating on your trading system, you also deviate from it and you start listening to yourself. Now, what does listening to yourself mean? Low quality decisions. And therefore, after some time in front of the charts, whether you won, whether you lost, or whether you were just simply bored, you will shift, your brain will shift from a high quality decision making mechanism to a low quality decision making mechanism. And therefore, this is why, guys, it's very important that right here, before those emotions are introduced, you cut it off and you walk away. So I receive this question all the time. Why can't I just trade the whole day? Why can't I, if I can make 2% or 4% or 5% trading in the morning, why can't I just sit the whole day in front of the charts and trade and make more and double my profits and triple my profits and quadruple my profits? And the reason for that is this thing. At some point in time during your day, your brain will shift from a high quality decision making mechanism to a low quality decision making mechanism, and this will affect your trading and will accumulate more losses. And this is why people would step into the wipe out stage after some time throughout their day. So for me, I trade every day in the morning for 1 hour. That's it, 1 hour max. And then I walk away, knowing that as soon as these emotions will be introduced to my mix, I will be taking lower quality decisions. So I simply walk away and I call it a day and I don't care. So that's number one. By the way, this video, this boredom exhaustion video is being recorded because one of my previous viewers requested it on my previous YouTube video. And therefore, I'll pop up the question right here on the screen. And therefore, if you also have any questions for me, feel free to do so in the comments. Maybe I'll record a video about it as well. Now, why is it best to come back the next day? So, if I have confidence right now because I took some wins, wouldn't I have the same confidence the next day because today is a winning day? And why is it better basically to come back the next day if I will be having the same confidence? If that confidence will affect me today, shouldn't it affect me tomorrow, logically. And this is the theory here. The theory here is that, first of all, what you need to understand is that, let's say you're sitting down right now and someone that you know that is very far away from you or that is traveling or whatever it might be surprises you. He goes through the door right now and you see him, or she goes through the door right now and you see her, and what ends up happening is you're surprised. So what you receive is you receive peak emotion right here. You're very excited because you saw that person right now. Now, the more time you spend with that person, the less the emotions, because you get used. So right here, first of all, you're surprised right there. And then right about here, you get used to their existence. So right here, you're used to it, and therefore your emotions start going down. It's the same thing with the charts. When you first take a loss, for example, you receive peak emotion, which is the biggest frustration that you might receive from that loss. The biggest frustration, you will receive it the moment it happens. And then as time goes by, when you come back the next day, you get used to the existence of that loss on your track record. So you're not as emotional about it as you were when you first took that loss. And there's something that I want to remind you of, which is your emotional state plus your intellectual reasoning make up for your decisions. So every trading decision that you take, your emotional state plus your intellectual reasoning, they make it up. So your emotional state intervenes in your trading decision. So the higher the emotional state, the higher it intervenes in your decision. What do we want to do? We want to lower our emotional state. We want to calm down because we want the effect of that emotional state to be the least possible on our decision. And therefore, if I'm receiving peak emotions right now, and therefore my emotional state is at an all-time high, I'm not going to be taking decisions right now because I'm receiving peak emotion right now. So what I do is I wait until the next day, so I get used to the existence of that loss, of that win, whatever it might be on my track record, and then I can take my decisions, because then my emotional state would be lowered, I'd be calmer, and therefore my intellectual reasoning is what is going to rule there, not my emotional state, because my emotional state has been lowered, and therefore I can use more of my intellectual reasoning there. And therefore, this is why it is best to wait until the next day, because the emotion that you feel right now is not going to be the same emotion that you will feel tomorrow, because it is going to be lowered as a result of this chart, as I just showed you here. And therefore, I want to trade when it is lowered, when my emotional state is at a low, so my intellectual reasoning can rule and I can make my decision. This is something else that you can focus on. Let's bring the board closer. Now, the last thing that I want to speak about, which was the main question of the viewer and the last part of this boredom exhaustion video, which is we're repeating the same thing every day. We trade the same instruments, taking the same risk, using the same setups during the same trading hours, and therefore that becomes a very boring mix that we're doing every day. And therefore sometimes you come to the charts, you're very bored of repeating the same things every day, and your brain is like, you know what? Let me have some fun by changing one variable here. So I can change the instrument that I'm trading, for example, or the batch of instruments that I'm trading. I can play with my risk right there. Instead of risking 0.5% per trade, let me risk 2% today. I can change my setup and improvise and trade something that I don't usually use. Or I can change my trading hours as well and trade outside of my trading hours because I want to have some fun. So the more bored you are, at some point your brain will come to have some fun on the charts. And why do we come to the charts to have some fun? That's the main question. And the reason is, let's look at that. When you first wake up, you have a very boring trading session. If you're trading using the same instruments, risk, setup, and trading hours, it's a very boring trading session. Then you leave and you attend your very boring job. And then you have a very boring night routine. Maybe you prepare your clothes, you shower to your job, to attend your job the next day, whatever it might be. and therefore very boring trading session, very boring job, and very boring night routine. This is a very poor dopamine environment. In simpler words, this is a very poor fun environment. You're not having any fun throughout your day. When we have a very poor dopamine environment, our brain craves for some dopamine, for some fun. And therefore, if I look at this day, where can I have my fun? Where can I have some fun? I cannot have fun at my job. And therefore, what I'll do, the easiest way, that is basically a click away, I can just have fun right here. Change my risk one click away. So one click away and I'll get a dopamine hit. One click away and I'll have more fun. So therefore, I go to my boring trading session and I change my instruments, I change my risk, I have fun with my setups, I improvise, whatever it might be, because you're in a poor dopamine environment and your brain is craving for some dopamine, and the only way it can seek it throughout all your boring life is on the charts. That's it. And therefore, how do I solve this? I solve this by simply creating, of course, a rich dopamine environment. Of course, healthy dopamine, not like scrolling endlessly on social media or whatever it might be. Which, by the way, scrolling on social media as well is as a result of a very poor dopamine environment. You're not having fun, you're not receiving your dopamine in a healthy manner, and therefore what your brain is like, it's pushing you to receive your dopamine through endlessly scrolling, for example, or gambling in that case, or alcohol for some other people, whatever it might be. You want to receive some dopamine, some pleasure, because you're in a very poor dopamine environment, and therefore it seeks it through unhealthy manners because you're not giving it to your brain through healthy manners. So what I'll do is I'll purposefully create a rich dopamine environment so my brain can be fed well, so it doesn't need to starve and it doesn't need to seek it on the charts. For example, I'll add, right here for example, I'll add a very fun activity with my partner or with my parents or with my friends, whatever it might be. I can add a gym session, an enjoyable gym session with a colleague, for example. If you don't have a job, for example, and you sit all day doing nothing, you can add a challenging business where you'd get those small wins and receive your dopamine hits throughout your day. So you can add in a fun activity, you can add in the gym. By the way, get some sunlight in the morning when you first wake up if you can. This also gives you some dopamine as you get the sunlight in the morning. And therefore, I build a healthy, rich dopamine environment so my brain doesn't have to seek dopamine on the charts, and you wouldn't see yourself improvising anymore. You wouldn't see yourself playing with your risk and doing all that shit, because you'd actually appreciate a boring business. If your life is fun, if you go out and you have fun with your partner, do spontaneous stuff, go out with your partner, get rewarded for that spontaneous stuff, let's say, have some fun with friends and all that, let's say, right there in your night routine, then you would appreciate having a boring business in the morning, because you don't want any more fun, you don't want any more dopamine. You want the boring business in the morning. And therefore, I know that in hustle culture today, that this is very hard to accept. Oh, I need to have some fun to offset my dopamine, but this is just reality. This is what you need to do. You need to get your dopamine in a healthy manner so your brain doesn't seek it in an unhealthy manner on the charts. That's it. And therefore, when I build my life like this, as I said, I don't see myself. I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to improvise. I don't want to change my risk. I like that trading is boring, because everything else isn't. My businesses are a little bit challenging. I go out at night, let's say, with my partner or with my parents. I go see some family members. I go to the gym. I do all that. And I appreciate that in the morning, I can just sit relaxed, play some classical music, let's say, and sit there and trade in a very boring manner. And therefore, you will only appreciate it if you create a rich dopamine environment. And therefore, that's what you need to do. Of course, healthy dopamine environment. So that's it for boredom exhaustion, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Also, let me know if you enjoyed that quick video there. Let me know what you think about it.